21. Linking groups or hands. We shared about all the fingerprints basis, and through fingerprints so I will understand the characteristics of the fingerprint. It shows up how a person has the advantages, weaknesses and keys of success at each fingerprint so we can promote our strengths. We will share with you how to link fingerprints hand. Because myself on forefinger vein and of us have a lot of fingerprints, not with one fingerprint. For example, if we have an eagle fingerprint or a WE fingerprint, we will easily feel about the feature, but what about the reality? It is a combination of many fingerprints. So how to look at the 4 fingerprints we can understand is the unique character of the individual, is the core characteristic of that person. Note, watching 4 fingerprints because these 4 fingers are related to the frontal and frontal lobes, it shows in terms of our thoughts, perceptions, and thinking, showing our character. As we know, the fingerprint is not simple, it only gathers 100% of the eagle, wherever the eagle is all the eagle fingerprints and somewhere still has the combination of eagles, of water, of the mountains sometimes on all 4 fingers. We link the fingerprint hand will help us better understand the character of that person. We own many fingerprints hands on one hand. Example, Albert Einstein, genius of the world to own 4 fingers so hands especially. WP, group of perfection, perfect. As, AT, group of sustainability, and extremely intensive knowledge. RL, creativity. WX, one trait of instability. A mix of many fingerprint features that causes internal conflicts. Instead of looking at a potential perspective, he was a genius, but somewhere he still saw Albert Einstein as an eccentric and sometimes people said he had autism. When I understand about fingerprints, I will understand the fingerprints, I will understand more about this person, and obviously he is a genius with extremely special fingerprints. Or another character like Walt Disney owns WP so we see his artistic works are perfectly flawless with a unique creativity with an extremely beautiful mindset. Fingerprints hands shown so his style, so that we understand the fingerprint of one person there, we will understand the personality, the person's behavior, principles that we need to keep in mind. In the process of linking fingerprints to understand the style of someone we need to note, there are very special fingerprints, very few people have, mountain groups, and in the eagle group with fingerprint WP, WL although eagle accounts for 30 to 35% but WP, WL are extremely small fingerprints, or group water account for 60 to 65% but reverse water will be very rare. Thus, we have arch group, mountain group, WP, WL, and RL are group of characters that are superior to other personality traits. If having fingerprints handed in any position on a hand, they are expressing this personality to the outside, not necessarily in 4 fingers. Suppose 4 fingers are water, but they have WP at the youngest finger. The first thing I meet one person I have to talk about the characteristics of WP because they will show the characteristics of WP outside more. In linking fingerprints hands of 4 fingers of his right, the first thing they see on the table with a dominant sign or not, then we will look at this 4 fingers. In addition to the special finger, then to follow we are going to identify groups with strong personality will tend outwardly the more groups with deeper character. Group WT, WS, WE, if there are these groups on hand, we must prioritize first, then WC, WD, WI and finally the UL group. View of the outstanding features of the fingerprint hand. In the process of linking fingerprints hand, we need to find a balance factor in life. For example, if someone has 10 eagle fingerprints, their personality is extremely strong. But here too many eagle fingerprints, they tend to reveal a more gentler personality. Compared to the personality of the eagle, no confession like water but how to react to the side besides, I will find it easier to get somewhere. If there are 10 countries, then we cannot say that the 10 countries are gentle people. 10 countries are big currents, are people with strong personality similar to eagles. This life is always balanced. When looking at fingerprints, I will also be flexible. When they are too strong they will show it outside, it will be softer. softer, inside them very hard, but outside they will be softer, but their inner roots are still the root of the 10 eagle fingerprints. Note: something too much will change status. Fingerprint hand will help us to better understand the core characteristics of ourselves as well as others, but we need to find correlations and connections. This depends on the element of experience. It is through experience that we have a deeper understanding. For example, if one of us is an eagle fingerprint and a water fingerprint is above 4 fingers, but we see that water groups are more expressive than eagle groups, which is perfectly normal. You must understand the characteristics and applications flexibly, because eagles only promote strength when an eagle has a goal. Just as when an eagle prey can show its strength. If this person does not have a goal, the eagle is not revealed. They tend to reveal the elements of the water more outside. The nature of the problem and the way they reveal it outward micro is very much affected by awareness as well as environmental impact. When viewing fingerprint hand, your thumb will find 2 related prefrontal lobes, cognitive behavioral decision-making. 2 index fingers will be thinking. If fingerprints hand at 2 thumb represents more externally, left fingerprints in 2 index fingers will be reflected in the thinking and his thoughts more. Example: 2 thumbs are water, 2 forefinger will be eagle. If, according to the principle, the eagle group will be a stronger group and show more outwardly, but here we will add one principle, that is what she reveals as an image of the person, water. But in thinking that contains an eagle's thinking, is a strong personality. In linking fingerprints hand to your reading comprehension when someone, I would have to apply a lot of rules. The most important principle, that is the experience. We need to be deeply knowledgeable because the character will reveal many different aspects, and with experience we will better understand that characteristic. When I observe a person, I will understand that the way they react to behavior is caused by this root, but expressing their behavior we need interaction, observation, and many skills other for us to understand more about that person.